All right, week 1 of week 12, hamstring night. This is Saturday. And guys, I gotta admit, I had an itch, so I went back to doing some deadlifts because I've been doing stiff-legged deadlifts and Romanian deadlifts, but man, there's just nothing better than the deadlift to me. It's just an old school movement that I've always done and I always love doing. Does it mean it's better than any other movement out there? No, it doesn't. I just like doing them. So I feel like these get my glutes and my hamstrings better than anything else. So I just naturally gravitate back towards them. And right here, you can tell I have that old school powerlifting mentality. I'm exploding up and I'm coming down really quickly. And then I catch myself like, oh, wait a minute. I'm doing this too fast. I need to slow down and focus on the negative. And you see right here, I slow way down. So then I slow way down and I control my negative and I squeeze at the top because I'm not doing this for powerlifting. I'm doing this for bodybuilding. So I'm just trying to stress the muscle. Because if I get carried away, I'll start deadlifting back in the 500s again and I'll fry my central nervous system and then I'll be fatigued and won't be able to work out 6 days a week. So I got to keep my weights low and keep the stress on the muscle high because I'm not trying to fry myself out, right? I'm just trying to get a good workout and a good pump, and I just really feel these so amazingly in the hamstrings and stuff. So after this, I know what you guys wanted to see, so I took the shorts off and pulled the boxers up so you can see those delicious calves because I didn't want nothing to get in the way of it for you guys. So after this, we move to Romanian deadlifts. Again, everything we do is for 4 sets of 8 to 12 reps, everything we do. And if we can hit more than 12 in the last set, we do not put a ceiling on ourselves. We'll push through that 12th rep, as many reps as we could possibly get, because the whole name of the game is muscle fatigue. Now, we don't do this on every set. The only set we take it past 12 is the last set. The first 3, we will stop at 12 exactly. But after that, on the last one, it's go time. It's time to go ham. Now, Richard has a very weak grip, so he uses the wrist straps. And there's nothing wrong with using wrist strap, guys. If you're not competing in powerlifting and grip strength is not an issue for you, well, not a concern, and you want to get more load on the muscle, there's absolutely nothing wrong with wearing wrist straps. But for me, I like to work on my grip by holding the bar because that's what builds my forearms up. I don't actually do any real direct forearm work because all my forearm work comes from grabbing and squeezing and holding. So the first movement was the deadlift, full range of motion. The second movement was the Romanian deadlift, where we do a slow negative. We pause right below the knee and then we hold it for a second or two and then come back up. So that's a top to mid range. Then this one, I consider this a mid to high range because I'm flexing at the top and squeezing my glutes. So this way I'm working all 3 movements, all 3 parts of the movement, the full range, the mid range, the top range. Also with this, guys, when you're doing this movement, don't think about picking your back up. You're not trying to lift your back up. You're trying to push your hips through. So imagine pushing your hips through the pads. Don't try to lift your back up. Don't try to lift your head up. Don't try to get erect by using your back. Push your hips through the pads. If you try to push your hips through the pads, you're going to engage your glute medius, your maximus, and your hamstrings, and you're going to feel it a lot harder if you push your hips through the pads. Your back is going to come up, and you're going to end up being like getting flat at the top of the movement. But if you push your hips through the pad instead of lifting your back up, you're going to feel it a lot more in your glutes and your hamstrings. Now we go to this one, the lying leg curl, because, well, curls for the girls, guys, you got to get those curls in. So the back of my knee is actually kind of bugging me on these, so I had to kind of modify them up a little bit because it was kind of bugging on me just slightly. So I went a little bit lighter and I did a few more reps than what I normally do. And then right here, I'm fatigued on my last set, so I'm doing these partials. And then, I can't go that high, and then I'm burning out, can't go as high, burning out, can't go as high. And I just try to bang out as many little partial reps as I can until I couldn't no more. Why? Because I'm trying to stress the muscle as much as possible. I'm trying to get as much work as I possibly can on that muscle because I like it. Is it going to make me grow more? I don't know. Is it going to make me leaner? I don't know. Is it going to make me a champion one day? I don't know. But what I can tell you is I do very much so like it. Okay, so now I'm going to switch gears just a little bit and talk about something slightly different here because the rest of the movement's just basically doing some lunges and calf raises and hip abductors. Okay, so I want to talk about why in the past I didn't reach my goals. And I'm going to be completely honest here, guys. The reason why I didn't reach my goals in the past of wanting to be a bodybuilder was because I kept quitting. I kept finding excuses to stop and not push through. So I was like, I'm going to compete, and I was going to compete. I was training for it, but then I got cold feet. I got scared. What if I look stupid? What if I look bad? What if I don't, what if I don't come in, or what if I don't place, or what if I can't get my conditioning right? And I let all this anxiety and all these nerves and all this just outside interference of what ifs get in my way. So I would find every excuse to stop. Oh, my knee's bugging me. My elbow's bugging me. Oh, well, I'm tired. Well, I got to take my kid to the doctor. So I missed a day of working out in 3 months. So I'm not going to be ready for the show because I missed one day of working out. I'd find every excuse in the world to get out of it. And I did this over and over and over again when it come to signing up for competition for bodybuilding. Powerlifting was a different story. I didn't care. I just wanted to lift some heavy weight with a bunch of other fat guys. So I was fat, they were fat, we're all lifting, we're all having a great time. It was just a good environment. But with bodybuilding, I felt like it was different, right? Because you're going to be like legitimately judged. People are going to be looking at you like, oh, look at his loose skin, or look at his stretch marks, or look at his his small biceps, or how come his midsection's not tight? You can't even see his abs that well. Look how weak his back is. His calves are non-existent. Look how small his forearms are. I was always afraid that they were going to pick me apart and just berate me, and then the other competitors and the audience was going to find everything wrong with me, and I was just going to be like pretty much ashamed. So I'd find every single reason to get out of competing in bodybuilding and found every excuse to stop. And then whenever I decided I wasn't going to bodybuild no more, I was just going to work out to work out. Again, the reason why I didn't hit my goals in getting my full developed 100% six pack and walking around at like 8% body fat, getting 20-inch arms, or, just because, to be honest, man, you don't start bodybuilding because you want to look like everybody else. You start bodybuilding because you want to be bigger than the average person. You want to be jacked. You want 20-inch arms. You want 19-inch arms. You want 22-inch arms or 18-inch arms. You want, 25, 30-inch thighs. You want a small waist and huge broad shoulders. That's just the way it is whenever you start bodybuilding, and that's what you want from bodybuilding. You want to be big. You're trying to build your body. Well, I would get lazy, right? I would get a little bit of results, and then I would either get really happy about it and content, and then I would stop working out or find reasons to quit. Or on the opposite end of the spectrum, I would start working out. I see a little bit of results. They weren't coming fast enough. I'd get aggravated, and I'd stop working out. Well, when I say stop working out, I change gears. So I start bodybuilding. I'm going to lean out, and I'm going to do a bodybuilding show. And then I start leaning out, and then I start feeling skinny, and then I start getting results, but they're not coming fast enough. This is taking too long. Screw it. I'm going to go back to powerlifting. I'll be fat and I'll be gross, but I'll be strong. So I got fat and I got gross and I got really strong, but then I couldn't breathe. I couldn't walk. I couldn't move. I couldn't do anything. I was so fat and gross and heavy. I was strong, but I couldn't do anything. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to lose some weight. I'm going to cut back some. So I lose a little bit of weight. Then I'm like, okay, I'm going to do a bodybuilding show and I'm going to compete. So then I start working out for bodybuilding. The results came. They didn't come fast enough. I started getting flat. I started losing size. And then I started stressing out about all my muscle's going away. I'm getting skinny. I'm getting weak. I don't want to keep doing this, but I found reasons to stop, right? I was my own worst enemy. I sabotaged myself. Instead of just sticking with one thing long enough to hit my goal and then moving to another thing, I would just bounce back and forth. And it was just a bad thing to do. And the reason why other people hit their goals is because, the truth be told, they stick to one thing until they accomplish their goal, till they reach it. And now that I'm older, I have got to that point now where I'm just like, okay, I'm going to stop looking around, and I'm going to stop stressing about my muscle size, my density, my everything about it, right? Because this is how I'm looking at it. If I'm trying to get my abs and I lose a lot of size in my arms in the process of getting my abs, well, the reason why I lost all that size in my arms was because I lost integral muscle fat. All the fat in the muscle shrunk. So if it goes away trying to get abs, you never really had it. You could be chubbier and be bigger, or you could be lean and be smaller. Then once you get really lean and you get to where you need to be, then you could work on building up muscle while trying to stay lean enough to see your abs, so you actually put on legitimate muscle, so you don't have to cardio it all the way. Because whenever you go from a 19-inch arm to a 17-inch arm and you lose 2.5 inches on your arm, but the majority of that is fat and fat inside the muscle tissue, like all in the muscle that you lose, It doesn't matter. It's depressing seeing all your size go away, and it messes with your mind, and it just screws with you in a way that it makes you want to quit and do the other thing. And when you're too lean, you start putting on some size, you start getting soft or smooth, or you start kind of like filling out and getting soft and round out and everything gets puffy. People start to freak out and they're like, oh no, I'm getting too fat. I'm getting too fat. I need to stop the bulk. I need to stop putting size on, go back to being lean. Then they get really lean again and they don't ever put any size on. This is a vicious cycle, and it goes both ways, right? Both ends of the spectrum. So I'm at the point now where I don't want to be that guy no more. So right now, the goal is the rest of the year to lean out as much as possible to get my abs, so that way I can start bulking again. And then whenever I start bulking, I'm going to do everything I can to keep my abs while putting on size. So whenever I get ready to compete, I don't have but maybe 10, 20 pounds to lose instead of 70, 80 pounds to lose. Because whenever I was 260 pounds, I was lying to myself. I only need to lose 30 pounds, 40 pounds. I'll probably be able to see the outline of my abs. I'm down 30 pounds. Well, I went from 261 down to 230 and you still can't see my abs. That's like, man, and I'm 6 foot tall. So then I see these other cats that are like 180 pounds at 6 foot and they're pilled and ripped, but they look big and they look muscular. And it's just kind of like, hold on. They're 50 pounds lighter than me. They look bigger than me and they have abs. And you think that you're going to be 260 pounds and lose 40 pounds and look close to how they look. Like, it's delusional, right? It's just very delusional. I just had a reality check. And like I said, like, the worst part about all of it was I kept sabotaging myself. So now I don't care how slow the results come. As long as they keep coming, I'm going to keep going and pushing until I obtain my results and my goals. Because I'm 36, I'm running out of time, right? I know people compete in their 60s and 70s, but what I mean by running out of time is, like, no one knows when their last day is, and no one knows when they're going to get injured or get hurt or something happens or their life changes or a job. I mean, look what happened with that whole pandemic thing, right? No one expected that to happen, but it did. So you just don't know what life has in store for you. So when I say I'm running out of time, what I mean is like the clock isn't going backwards, it's only moving forward. So instead of living in the past and dwelling back then, I need to figure out what I did wrong in the past and just fix it and move forward and stop dwelling on this, that, or the other. Because like I said, man, I was my own worst enemy, and I'm tired of doing that, and I'm tired of quitting my goals, and I'm tired of stopping and finding excuses and reasons to not push forward. And from here on out, if I can help it, God knows if I can help it, I'm going to help it, and I'm going to just keep moving forward. But like I said, like, this is something that I have to figure out on my own to help push me forward, because I can't pay $1,000 a month for a personal trainer to keep me accountable. I don't have that kind of money. I'm a dad of 3 and I'm a husband. I don't have that kind of money. So everything I'm doing on my own 100%, because I have to figure out how to do it in a way that doesn't put my family out anything. So, but anyways, guys, that's the rant for today. That's the workout. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. And until tomorrow, I'm going to be doing a weigh-in video with some pictures to start this before and after pictures for this 12-week journey. But thanks for watching.